Welcome to GPTV on this diving. Yeah. Welcome to GPTV on this diving. In the shadows where the stories ride, GPTV1, independent media. Truth never hides. Tune in deep, let the drama unfold. Real life tales, bold and told, yeah. Welcome to GPTV on this diving.
Let's dive in, folks. I am in the building. Let me turn this TV down. I am live right now on YouTube, on Twitch. This is GPTV1 Originals. You know, I decided to pop in on a Friday evening. You got a hot topic going on. This has definitely been burning up the airwaves all day. J. Prince Jr. Interesting story. And how his name get caught up in all these controversies. I want to thank you for joining me on this Friday night. You're listening to the replay. You already know what it is. Live transmission. Shouts out to the people on Twitch. What up, though, fam? Tonight, we're covering the incident in Houston involving Ben10, All-Star Jr., and Dead End. A situation that lit up the podcast circuit in less than 24 hours. Multiple reports said there was a chain snatching attempt. Shots fired, and 2 people hit, including Ben10. Footage shows J. Prince Jr. in the background, which is why the internet is spinning this into a bigger narrative than the actual event. But GPTV1 Originals isn't here to chase the noise. We're here to break down the structure. What happened? Why it escalated? How the ecosystem reacted? And why certain names shift the room the moment they appear on camera. This is independent media, not gossip, not agendas, just the mechanics. Some of the verified key facts. All-Star JR was allegedly the target of a chain snatching attempt inside a Houston restaurant, popular restaurant. When confronted, he allegedly fired back in self-defense, allegedly hitting Ben10 and another individual. And it seems like Ben10 and this other individual or this mob he was with just straight crashed out. Ben10 is a NBA YoungBoy affiliate, was reportedly shot multiple times and left in critical condition. Sometimes you call it a suicide mission. I remember back in the streets, we would call that suicide mission. That's when you just straight crash out. You know, today they call it crashing out. I got that Kingpins and Ghosts instrumental playing in the background. But yes, back in the day, we used to call that crashing out. But Ben10 is an NBA YoungBoy affiliate. J. Prince Jr., they say, was seen in the background, or he's in the background of this whole situation. J. Prince Jr. was seen in the background of the footage circulating online. He's saying he wasn't there. Some other people say he was there. The confrontation happened at Confessions, a restaurant on Kirby Drive in Houston. I've never been to Houston before. I've been to Dallas. I've been to Texas, but not Houston. Police responded around 11:30 p.m. They say the freaks come out at night. This isn't just a shooting. It's a cultural moment. It's Detroit, Baton Rouge, and Houston energy colliding in one room. It's influence, ego, proximity, and reputation all hitting the same timeline at the same time. In a second, J. Prince Jr.'s silhouette showed up in the footage. The internet turned it into a bigger narrative because certain names carry weight, whether they speak or not. And we know Jay Prince Jr. name carry a lot of weight. I don't know necessarily throughout the music industry, but at least in Houston, they got some level of power down there. They don't run this, the Prince family don't run the city, but some of their energy is felt around there, and it's been feeling like that for a long time, mostly due to the father and the success they got out of Rap-A-Lot Records. And later on down the line, they got Mob Ties Records. And I always question people like Jay Prince Jr., because it's like you grew up in a life of luxury, and a lot of us wish we could have had that lifestyle. And then, you know, they want to be street. I never can understand that logic. If you grow up in a life of luxury, in which he did because his daddy was rich, I'm pretty sure he made sure his son had everything. But then you want to be street. You want to be known as a street god. And you get these crash out type people around you, and it makes you feel powerful. And you have to question somebody like Jay Prince. I just think he's the type of guy that got political connections that people don't really realize, because, you know, they had this mob type image. So you can't come out acting like you just plugged into politicians like that. I believe they did a lot of stuff over the time. I think they shaky type people, but that's just my personal opinion. My personal opinion on that. But at the same time, his name carries some weight. That's the verified layer of what we know so far. Now, before we move deeper into the mechanics, cannon break. Real quick, fam. Let me highlight y'all for a second. If you've been rocking with GPTV1 Originals, you already know we build worlds over here, not just episodes. Shadow Empire, the documentary, is the foundation of that universe. And the narrative audio album, that's the cinematic sound of the world we're building and documenting. The QR code is on your screen right now. Scan in and tap into the full experience. The film, the audio, the dossiers, the transmissions, everything connected to the Shadow Empire ecosystem. Independent media, independent storytelling, independent universe. Scan the code and step inside. All right, fam. Now that we laid out the verified structure and tapped you into the Shadow Empire ecosystem, let's shift the lens. Because this incident didn't just live on social media. It hit the mainstream news cycle immediately. Local Houston outlets were on it within hours, confirming the location, the timeline, and the condition of the victims. So before we break down the mechanics and the ecosystem reaction, I want to show you how the story was framed publicly. Here's the news clip covering the moment. Ben10 and Dead End. That's an incredible name. You know, they come up with the most heinous name. Whatever name sound the worst, I guess that's what make you famous. Dead End. I never had one of those hood type nicknames. I don't know too many people. You know, we sort of twist our names around, and a lot of people had nicknames from when they were like a child, and it just carried over. Especially gang members, they really be having some hell of a nicknames. But I never had one of those hooded out nicknames, you know. But anyway, here's the news clip covering the moment Ben10 and Dead End were shot in Houston. It's hard for me to even say that. Dead End. Pay attention to the language, the pacing, and what they choose to highlight, because that tells you a lot about how narratives get shaped. Let me roll that clip. Share my screen, family. All right, here we go. Let's get some traction going on here. Let's get some sound going on.
More about one of the victims shot during a violent incident inside a popular restaurant in Upper Kirby.
Police say a fight escalated, ending in gunfire and leaving 2 men in critical condition. Let's get right to KPRC2's Rochelle Turner live in the newsroom. Rochelle.
Keith and Lisa, we're learning more about one of the men shot. Family members tell KPRC he is rapper NBA Ben10. Now, he is affiliated with NBA Youngboy and the Never Broke Again collective. Now, while police have not officially confirmed his identity, his family says he is alive and recovering in the hospital.
Oh,
this is video of rapper.
I can't play that music. I don't want to get hit with them copyright strikes.
A violent confrontation inside this Upper Kirby restaurant called Confessions Wednesday night.
There was probably, I don't know, 20, 30 people in there and several servers and everything.
Police say a group confronted a man and tried to rob him of his chains. Investigators say that struggle lasted nearly a minute before escalating into a larger fight. Officers say the man was knocked to the ground and surrounded as multiple people joined in.
They're beating this guy pretty bad. They're got him on the ground.
They're whooping him.
And beating him pretty good. Sometime during that part of the...
We're going to show some of that footage. They whooping up on him pretty good. I wonder was people with him. And it's an important lesson to you want to be gang members out there or gang bangers. You need to pay close attention to this.
Of the fight, our victim, who was originally looked like he was being majorly assaulted by several people and getting his chains ripped off, he presents a pistol. We don't know where he got it from, but he got it. Must have had it in his pants the whole time, but he got it out and started shooting randomly.
So they're saying that All-Star had a strap on him. He's according to this officer, All-Star started dumping on these people.
2 men were hit. One of them is believed to be NBA Ben10, according to family members. Both were taken to the hospital.
And this guy don't look all that threatening. You would think this guy look like a horror movie, like Jason or something. But you never know. They say them the ones.
And remain in critical condition. Investigators say the man who fired the gun, believed to be the robbery victim, ran from the scene and has not been identified. So at this hour, there's still lots of questions. Police say they're working to figure out exactly what led up to the shooting and are asking anyone with information to come forward. Now, the restaurant's owner tells me staff tried to break up the fight. They also confirmed surveillance cameras captured the incident, and that video has been turned over to police. Management went on to say that this was a one-time incident, and effective immediately today, they're adding a doorman and security guard.
Yeah, y'all coming up in there bucking the system. So that's the news report that happened down there. And they are speculating that All-Star pulled the actual trigger. And he would be in self-defense in a case like that. Interesting. This is Ben10. This is Ben10, and this is the guy that led the mob in there to try to snatch these chains and attack All-Star JR. As a matter of fact, let me go back to that last segment because I have a question. Let's go back here. What's the real root of this conflict? What's the real root of this conflict? You all can leave that comment in the chat. Take a drink of water here. You can leave that comment in the chat. What's the real root of this conflict? Here's another question for the audience. Does influence change the energy in the room? I think it do. But what do y'all think? Do y'all think does influence change the energy in the room? I think it actually does. I really do. Because people are drawn to power. They're drawn to people that draws attention in the room. I'm pretty sure Jay Prince Jr. draws the attention in the room in Houston. And they be traveling around a lot of places. And I'm sure they go to places where they will stand out in the room. I'm sure of that. So y'all can leave your comments in the chat. Now, let's zoom out because this isn't the first time Jay Prince Jr.'s name has been adjacent to high-risk environments, high stakes, or violent outcomes. His name been wrapped up into some stuff. That's a fact. His name been rolling around and circulating, and some people didn't have the nicest things to say about him. But, you know, you got thick skin when it comes to something like that. Plus the fact, you know, he's been around this entertainment industry forever. Even if they wasn't pushing the records, his daddy was pushing the records. I'm not here to speculate. I'm here to show the pattern the internet keeps pointing to. Then you hit the three anchors you already identified. We already identified the jeweler incident. Duke the jeweler, a Chicago jeweler, was robbed and killed after attending a dice game connected to Jay Prince Jr. You know, Prince and them and all of them, they made it look like it was a random thing. He was actually with the rapper Boosie. But Boosie, you know, he separated himself from the situation. And they said the guy left on his own and got robbed on the way to his car. Who knows? Like I said, these guys be having these crash out guys around, which drives their power. And they be laying around lurking. But who knows? Who knows? But the internet immediately tied the event to the environment, not necessarily the individuals. The controversy came from proximity, not confirmed involvement. Of course, Jay Prince Jr. separated himself from that. Takeoff's death, Houston, 2022. Takeoff was killed after a private gambling event tied to Jay Prince Jr.'s birthday celebration. And that was another one of these situations. Y'all go down there hanging around these guys who not from these environments, and they get off on these crash dummies. You see it all the time, man. I've been around people like that. They would literally have people standing around willing to do anything. And to bring that young man into that type of environment with these goons, and y'all supposed to be celebrities. Come on, man. So a lot of people was upset over that. The city of Atlanta, you know, a lot of people was emotional over that. Because a lot of people like Takeoff, you know, as an artist, and a lot of people just liked him as a person. Like, he wasn't a threatening type of guy. But again, all that stuff was over an argument that Quavo was having with Jay Prince's crew and all of that. Yeah, it was just kept antagonizing the guy and all that. So, and you just gotta watch how you threaten people, because Quavo, the moment he said, "Hey, I'm gonna have to kill somebody," that sets it off right there, because you're already dealing with a set of emotional people who's looking for words like that to give them a reason to shoot you. So who knows how to deal with that situation at that moment? Hindsight is 2020. But yet and still, Takeoff was killed due to this event that was not properly secured. Again, the narrative wasn't he did it. It was, why does violence keep happening around these rooms? the public reaction was about patterns, not charges. Then you got Ben10 and Dead End shooting. I can't get over the fact you keep saying that name, Dead End. So y'all go to my channel and check out the latest video I did, Intel. Monday, I go live with Uncut. Wednesday, I go live with Intel, but on Instagram and Twitch. As a matter of fact, I'm live on Twitch right now. Shouts out to the few files I got over there. Then I'll come around on Friday and do originals because it helps out a lot. Because normally I script it and all of that and add some visuals. But right now I got the Shadow Empire animations coming about and just that whole ecosystem. So there's a lot of work going on. And it just cuts down on some of the time if I just do it like this. And I still got to come up with a way for the people that actually, my members, the inner circle, the GPTV1 inner circle. You can sign up for your monthly membership. I do have extended cuts over there. I got videos over there strictly just for the members. So I appreciate that. You go over there and check that out. The Narrative audio album is actually out right now. It's just spreading the lore because the documentary turned everything into this lore. So the music is playing like the voice to the documentary. So check it out. Matter of fact, let me put up that trying to get to the album. It's live on SoundCloud, or you can purchase the dossier. You can get the album for free. If you purchase the documentary, you will get this album for free. Or you just want to listen to it, you scan the QR code. Or I just started a playlist right here on this channel. You can go down there and check out some of the narrative videos on there. So it's hot. But anyway, back to the story. The Ben10 Dead End shooting. That's the current incident. Another violent outcome in a high-risk environment with Jay Prince Jr. present in the background. Of course, he's going to say he wasn't there. His brother was there. The internet immediately connected it to the previous two events. The controversies about ecosystem energy, not direct involvement. That's where he stands right outside these incidents. So he don't be directly involved in this stuff. It be these sidelines people that does that. The only problem with that is like a RICO. When you sending people out or they just doing it, some people, all they got to do is just talk bad about you. I say that in other episodes, you see these incidents that go on, especially with these rappers and all of that. These rappers, they just gangster, you know. These rappers are gangster. I don't even consider them a rapper. I consider them like street dudes just doing something. Like I said before, these guys are gangster street guys disguising themselves as rappers. Literally, these guys are gangster. And I believe them. So this guy right here, that's like a RICO or something. And a lot of time these stories go on, you know, these theories, somebody put some money on their head. Somebody put a bag on their head. Somebody put some money into it. No, that ain't always the situation. Somebody can literally just talk bad about you. And you know, when the boss talk bad, some people go react because they want points with the boss. That's how I look at that Nipsey Hussle situation. I mean, Nipsey Hussle ran into a guy who had some mental issues going on there. First of all, and don't tell him what type of drug he was on. So he had some issues before he even got there. And I still think that something going on with Tekashi 6ix9ine. What do you got going on? We may check that out before I get out of here. Excuse me, folks. I just seen a notification coming across my phone. You know, I got a lot of notifications. Always story ideas that come across. I seen a little clip of him earlier. I didn't click on it, but I seen him saying something. I'm sure it's relevant to this. I wonder what he going off about. I know the other day he was calling Gucci Mane a snitch and all of that. But back to this guy, J. Prince Jr. That's like a Rico. Oh, yeah, I was talking about Nipsey Hussle. Nipsey Hussle, yeah, that guy was ain't no telling what type of drugs he was on. He mixed that with these mental health issues he had. And I think that he sat around this different factions of the Crips. Then like the what's that guy, Big U faction. Cause him and Nipsey Hussle, they sort of like got different factions of the Crips. It's all rolling 60s, but they got sort of like different factions. And I think that guy Eric Holder he had been around the Big U side of it. I'm not even gonna say Big U, but a different side. They just didn't like Nipsey Hussle. So sometimes it just take people just talking bad about you, and some people just want to get points. And that's why I think why that guy shot and killed Nipsey Hussle. I believe one part of the reason he wanted points in the hood. You know, you can't be bigger than the program. And he went around there listening to people talking bad about him. So somebody like J. Prince Jr., all you gotta do is hear you talking bad about him. You know, he may not say, "Hey, go beat him up." I believe Yo Gotti one of those type of people. They're not gonna directly say, "Hey, go jump that person, go shoot that person, go do that." They just hear you talking bad about them, and you show a little bit of disgust. Then you got these crash out people there. Go do it. Suicide missions. And he got dumped on. Literally. The internet immediately connected it to the previous two events. The mob ties branding controversy. J. Prince Jr.'s mob ties brand has been criticized for the perception it creates. Critics say the branding attracts a certain type of energy. Supporters say it's just a lifestyle brand. Either way, it shapes public reaction when incidents happen. The check-in culture debate. Yeah, that was a big debate going on back in the day. A few years ago, especially with that takeoff thing, that was a big debate. Whether people should be checking in and all that type of stuff. It depends on how you frame that. Depends on how you look at that. I see a couple of people in the building. Let's keep this circulating by clicking that like button. But that was a big debate. Do I check in? I call when I go out of town. I call people, let them know I'm in town and all that type of stuff. You know, if people come visit me, I feel it's my duty to protect them. I'm not going to take somebody in some dangerous situations where I go take people into around a bunch of irrational type people that lives on the edge. No, I feel like a responsibility to take care of people that visit me. But to technically check in like some extortion type shit, hell no, I ain't with that right there. That's some Rico shit. So no, I ain't never checked in, but I call people when I hit their town or whatever. I'll call them before I get there. And a lot of these guys, they riding around with these street type of security guys. They ride around with all these millions of dollars, but they got hood security. So yes, it was a big debate, and that's what Big U was. He caught that indictment, that Rico, because of that check-in shit. They got him on video doing that shit. As a matter of fact, I think his podcast was named Check In. That's exactly one of the reasons got him on that case right now. So when they check in, they tap into these guys right here, the Prince family. when they got down into Houston. Now, some people do that for extortion. But I don't think it's nothing wrong with calling people when you go to their towns or whatever, checking in like that. But you think I'm going to pay you a fee and I got to do this or I can't come there? That's a problem right there. Like, you don't run the city. You don't run the city, period. Jay Prince Jr.'s name is often brought up in that conversation. Whether true or not, the perception fuels controversy every time violence happens near him. The pattern of high-risk rooms. This is the non-speculative structural angle that fits GPTV1 originals. Dice games, private gambling events, high ego, high money environments, crowds with mixed affiliations. And that's exactly what happened to the Amigos. No security protocols, alcohol, ego, proximity. These rooms are statistically dangerous regardless of who's in them. And these guys be having dangerous rooms. But having those chains on and all that shit right there. And he reminds me of somebody that plays chess. We live in that world. You got to play chess out here, man. You can't be playing checkers. You got to play chess. It's a fact. You got to play chess out here. This guy plays chess. And he learned it from the best. His daddy. Definitely that. That's a lot of stuff. And you can carry that baggage with you everywhere you go. The room this guy be having going on be dangerous. And I would never understand how you want to look luxurious, luxury. How many of y'all see people like this in the streets? Besides a rapper or something like that, generally, like literally. Go downtown somewhere, you'll see a gang of homeless people. You can frame it like when you mix money, ego, alcohol, and reputation in a closed room with no structure, the probability of violence spikes. Every time Jay Prince Jr. is in the proximity to one of these rooms, the internet connects the dot. So I'm not here to say Jay Prince Jr. caused anything. I'm here to show you why his name trends every time something happens in these environments. It's the pattern, it's the proximity, and the perception, not the paperwork. That's deep, folks. That's very, very deep. Switch it back to this guy. Ben10 just crashed out. Looking for points, in my opinion. But here's a question for the audience. Was Ben10 trying to prove something? Or was this just tension boiling over? It's a good question. It's a good question. Was Ben10 trying to prove something? Or was this just tension boiling over? That's a question for you all. Y'all get me in the chat. I see a couple people in here. I will highlight you right here. Couple things popping on there. I don't know what that is, but let me turn that off. There's a bunch of stuff popping up there on that screen. Been watching for 2 hours. Nice gameplay. That's like some, I don't know where that come from. But anyway, that's the question I put out to you all. But this is the guy that crashed out. Now that we've laid out the pattern, the rooms, the proximity, the perception, let's move into the part of the story that actually set this whole situation in motion. Because before the shooting, before the headlines, before the police statements, there was already tension in the air. And that tension showed up on Facebook. Footage started circulating of Ben10 and his people pressing All-Star Jr., trying to take his chain. That wasn't speculation. This was video. And by the way, the police got that footage. And once that clip hit the timeline, the energy around the situation shifted instantly. So let's pull that up. Watch the body language. Watch the positioning. Watch who's initiating and who's reacting. This is the moment that set the fuse. Set the fuse. So let's pull up that fight and see what's popping off. They were jumping on this guy. Like they was putting the more than a two-piece on this guy. Let me share my screen. I'm gonna go to Instagram. You all can follow me on Instagram, CEO Ryland Cade. And I also GPTV1 Facebook page. We're gonna go to that in a minute. But let me share my IG and show them jumping on this person. Let me see if I can get any sound going on here. And this is from BZTV Live. Let's go.
Man, what the fuck? Let's go, Jay. Let's go.
Yeah, you can see them.
Like, damn.
Oh, let me turn that music. I need to turn that music off because I can't play that music. I don't want to get hit with them copyright strikes or warnings. But you can see this right here. They straight up whooping on this guy. They trying their best to get them chains off his neck. I wonder did he have that stuff insured, but it's no indication that they got any of the chains. You can see they're going to town on this guy. This is on IG. It's my IG page. Y'all can step over there and check me out. I'll be posting on there. That's my CEO page. Everything from this page come from the CEO perspective. So I treat it a little bit different. Now I just rebranded it, so I'm trying to grow it. But anyway, that's the footage right there. Let me stop sharing that. So they going to town on this guy. They straight up whooping this guy. Y'all seen it. But some people say Jay Prince Jr. is around somewhere in one of these videos. So I'm not going to go through all that and actually try to look for him. But what would y'all do in that situation if you were getting jumped like that? He went there, led the charge, and ended up being the one getting shot. And guess what happened? Everybody spread up and left him. That's what happens. You go down there, you take your mob, they start dumping, you get hit, everybody leave you. Trust me. They did my nephew like that. He got hit a few times, they left him down in the street. It was no mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, nothing to actually try to save him or try to get him to the hospital or anything. They just left him in the street. These are the guys he's riding around with. When this guy was shot, everybody ran away and scattered. They left you there for dead. You crashed out with these other people and they left you there. So when they started dumping, they got ghosts. Guess what? Leaving you there. Facts. At least that's allegedly. And we can theorize. And this is what happens when you don't have civilians or regular citizens around, like literally, because real people will come over there and try to help you, not leave you and abandon you. They'll at least try to call the ambulance or something. If somebody got any empathy, but when you ride around a bunch of people that don't have no empathy, you cannot trust that person next to you. If you ride around with people and that other person don't have absolutely no feelings about nothing, that means they don't love you either. So they want to walk around with these psychopathic type of minds, sociopathic, no empathy, probably got a lot of sympathy, feel sorry for your misfortunes. You cannot trust that person next to you. I don't care how ganged out you are. You can be ganged out all day. If that gang member don't have no empathy, don't have no feelings for nothing, that means they don't care about you. And what it all boils down to, they take you back to the people that care about you, your damn family. Facts. Now, this is the guy from the D. Here's a question for the audience. Does Detroit stand with All-Star JR in this moment? Detroit usually stand with their own. They could be beefed out in the inner city, but outside the city, people tend to stick together. At least that was the Detroit that I knew. You get outside the city, they tend to stick together. So, this guy was born on the west side, then moved on the east side, but typically representing Joy Rose. So that's west side all day. Facts. So this is the guy that was trying to snatch the chains from. Now, before we move into the final layer of this situation, there's another piece of context that the internet has been talking about. And it's important because it explains the energy behind all of this. After the chain pressing clip, another video started circulating. This one showed Jay Prince Jr. interacting with All-Star JR's child's mother, the baby mama. That is the art of war right there. I've been around people like that got money like that. I sat with one of these guys. It was just me and him in his place of business. He was just talking. I just thought he was talking crazy because his whole conversation was built on destroying people's lives and fucking people's wives and shit. This is what the guy was talking about. And he just didn't care because he was making money hand over fist. And when you got people that's making money like a machine, they start playing chess. They get really, really bored with their money. And they start flexing their power. When I was sitting there talking to this millionaire, we all trying to get on. We trying to get there. But his mind just wasn't on that. And I talked to people who had been around this guy. Their philosophy and thoughts was, I'm trying to get on. I'm trying to eat. I'm trying to get there. When you actually sit and talk to him, he ain't thinking nothing about them. His whole focus was on fucking somebody's wife, fucking somebody's girlfriend, acting like this towards this person to get them to react in a certain type of way so he can try to discredit them. And I would see people just standing around. And I never could get that. And I was one of the people I was like, dude, I'm not about to be standing around waiting on you, like literally. Like they will have you standing there for hours, walk right past you, won't say nothing to you, won't say two words to you. And then finally come over there and say something to you 3-4 hours later. I've seen this. I wasn't standing there those 3 or 4 hours, but I left and came back like later on. That same person was still standing there. That shit was unbelievable. I left and came back. That same person was still standing there. That was hours later. The man still ain't said nothing to him. I said, hell to the nah. No way. So I seen that. And Jay Prince Jr. reminds me of that. But again, that's just my analysis, my observation. Literally. And they really try to get that chain off that guy's neck. That video started circulating with this guy, interacting with this guy, with All-Star's baby mama. That's the art of war. And the way he moved in that clip had people online saying he was antagonizing, instigating, and playing psychological chess. He was. Now, I'm not here to say what anyone's intentions were. but I am here to show you how the internet interpreted, because perception drives narrative and narrative drives escalation. A lot of people online framed it like this: when money, status, and ego collide, people start treating relationships like strategy. It's like a chess, pieces on the chessboard. Relationships like strategy pieces. Some folks call it chess moves. Some call it disrespect. Some said it's just trolling. But regardless of the interpretation, the clip added fuel to any already tense situation. Yes. So let's take a look at that footage, not to judge it, but to understand why the temperature around this whole situation kept rising. Let's roll that footage. I'm going to go to the GPTV1 Facebook page. It's trying to get somewhere. Let me find that footage on here. I just saw it a few minutes ago. Hold tight, family. I see a couple of people in the building. Help circulate this live stream by clicking the like button. Do me a solid. Appreciate it. Let me see if this is it. This looks like a still picture. Give me 1 second, family. Let me pull that back up. I'll be looking around and moving around. I got some food cooking in there. Got my Detroit Pistons, the #1 team in the East. And they putting it on the Hornets. I'm trying to get that pulled back up here, family. All right, let's see what we got going on here. Okay, is this it? Oh, like a still picture. Oh, okay, here we go. Let me share my screen, family. See what this guy, and she looked like she ain't even want to actually do that stuff, but she being salacious her damn self. You know, women do that stuff like that. They know you don't like somebody, they'll go over there and kick it with that person, knowing you ain't gonna like that shit. So this the GPTV1 Facebook page. You all can follow me over there. But this is her right here. Let's play some time.
She made it. Trust the process. Hey, man, I'm glad you left her alone. Oh, I'm glad y'all had differences. Because I'm the difference now. Trust the process.
Show that
man. I want him to know that you moving on to bigger and better things.
Look at man, he a cheater. Hold it right there. Hold it right there. You see how she put her head down? She didn't really want to do that. But she knows she got to do it. Now you're in the trap. You got to do it. You want to ride in that seat? You want to ride in that luxury? Let's go.
Oh, shit. That's
what
my
type of stuff
nigga, she made it.
That is not respect. You're being used as a chess piece right now. If this guy actually loved you, he would not be doing stuff like this. You cannot love somebody for real if you're doing stuff like this. That's just my opinion. What y'all think? All right, let's go back. Let's listen to some more of this. Let's go.
Oh. Hey, you are. She made it. Trust the process. Hey, man, I'm glad you left her alone. Oh, I'm glad y'all had differences. Because,
look at her. You can see she hiding her face like, damn, I can't believe he doing this. Y'all look at the look of her face. I've been looking at that body language. Y'all ever seen those? It's on YouTube. I haven't watched it in a while, but you got those 4 guys, and one of them, I believe, British or something. But they do like this body language type stuff, and you can learn a lot by looking at this stuff. Let's go back to her. If you look at her, she's sort of looking away. You see, she almost hiding her face right there. Y'all see that? She really actually don't want to do this, but she going to do it. Because she knows if she don't do this, this dude is not about to fuck with you. Period. Let's go back a little bit. You look at her. She trying to smile it off. Look at her.
Glad y'all had differences.
There she go. There she go. Trying to hide her face.
Because I'm the difference.
She even shaking her head. Look. Look. She even shaking her head. She even shaking her head. Why are you doing this?
Trust the process.
She even shaking her head. Let's go back a little bit. See, this is where you get trapped. You with somebody that actually don't care about you. This guy ain't got no emotions at all. He severely lack empathy. The way he walked past Takeoff, when that Takeoff situation happened, he walked past Takeoff like it was nothing. Like he was just a piece of meat laying in the street.
I'm the difference now.
Trust the process.
I'm the difference now.
You can see her shaking her head.
Trust the process.
All right, so let me stop sharing that. So that's what I think all this stuff is about. It's all about this. This is the art of war. That's what I think it's about. It's about this baby mama, whatever they got going on. It's speculated that Junior may have tried to hit on his kids or something like that. All-Star JR's kids. That's part of the speculation. But that escalates it right there. Literally. Banging on somebody's girl. And that, you know, that's all filled out through hip-hop. You know. So people get off on banging off on somebody else's girl. But that's what I think all this stuff is really about. It's about this baby mama stuff. Now, before we wrap this up, there's one more voice we need to bring into the conversation. Somebody who actually is connected to the mob ties ecosystem. Somebody who's been around these rooms, these personalities, and this culture long enough to understand the temperature from the inside. I'm talking about Finesse 2 times. And let me be clear, I actually like Finesse. He's one of the few artists who can speak on a situation without turning into theatrics. I mean, that guy be candid, literally. He's blunt, he's direct, and he doesn't sugarcoat the politics of the streets or the industry. So when he commented on this incident, people paid attention, not because he was choosing sides, but because he was giving perspective. Perspective from someone who knows the mob ties circle, knows the energy around these environments, and knows how fast things can escalate when ego, money, and reputation collide. Now, I want to be quite frank here, like All-Star JR, he a boss in his own right. Like, you know, dude getting choked too. Let's take a look at what Finesse 2 times said, and then we'll break down why his angle matters in the bigger picture of this whole situation. Let me roll that commentary. All right. Let me pause it right there and share my screen, family. This is Finesse 2 times. Get something bigger going on here so y'all can see it a little better. How about this? Yeah. All right, let's see what Finesse talking about.
Woke up to all kind of crazy shit going on. What happened now, man? Tell Big Father what happened, man. I seen some shit. I'm just trying to see if y'all feel how I feel. Anyway, though, what the happened? I'm saying, though, man. Hey, what the you think was gonna happen if a pull up and try to take my chain? Oh my God, y'all got way too much going on, bro. Y'all got way too much. Now y'all see why I'm trying to get out this motherfucking contract. Now y'all see why. You see how this shit make me look? And I'm a part of mob ties. Now I gotta walk in places and they be like, who is that? That's finesse. They be with Joe and them. No, I don't. I don't be with No, I don't. I don't. Hell no. Hell no. Hell no. Not him. You know what I'm saying? No, I don't. Hell no. Hell
That's finesse.
No. No, I don't. Don't me with that. You hear me? I already went down through that phase in my life. I already been a G. I already been to jail. I already did all that shit. I ain't got nothing to prove. Especially to my baby mama boyfriend. No.
I like this guy.
No, boy. My little boy was sticking something this long in my baby mama when I was locked up, boy. No, boy.
Oh, man.
No, boy. You thought I was finna get out and beef with them niggas? No, boy. You thought I was finna get out of jail and be beefing with them, putting that meat rob in my baby mama? No, boy. No, you can't beef with no about their baby mamas and shit, boy.
Yeah, you can't control it,
chemistries and shit, boy. Loves and shit. Boy, she looked up at that boy and ate that dick up, boy.
Yeah, she did. You know she did.
She threw that ass back, boy.
Damn, they ate his deodorant.
Fuck you talking about, it's just is what it is, you hear me? You hear me? It is what it is, my boy. No, boy, I'm not doing that shit, dog. I'm not doing this shit. I'm not doing this shit. And I'm just going off what the blogger said. The blog... Man, the blogger folks said, these man supposed to whoop that man child. Y'all know I just spoke about this shit the other day. Now, I ain't gonna lie. Like I said, I'm on cold-blooded man time. If I'm your mama, I'm tearing your ass up. I'm gonna tear your ass up. Now, listen to this now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me, listen to me. Because once upon a time, all right, listen. Listen to me. Listen to me.
Got some shit going on.
Listen to me. Look. This the thing, chat. Sub up, chat. Sub up, sub up. Y'all need to hear this shit. I really need y'all to sub up. I'm talking about y'all real deal need to hear this. Finna be some fly shit on.
Okay, y'all can go over there and check him out. I'm gonna end it right there. I'm not gonna play a lot of this video and all of that. Y'all can go over there and check his channel out. That's finesse 2 times. I like him. I don't agree with all that whooping on other people's kids, but you know, you dealing with people, you dating people and all of that, and their kids can get it unruly, like literally. But I'm totally against people whooping up on my kid or whatever. So no, I'm not with my baby mama. I'm sure as hell not chasing her around and screaming about to argue about some dudes she dating. I'm actually cool with the guy she was dating. I got 2 baby mamas. No, I'm cool. I see both of those guys. I'm definitely not beefing with them. And my son told me one time that her husband hit him. I just took it up with her, and I never heard that ever again. And people would say to me, what if the other guy has influence on your son? I said, nah. My son, I got way too much influence on my son. I got him involved in a lot of stuff and a lot of activities, and I'm with him too much for other people to have an influence on my son like that. But I don't mean disrespect whoever's supposed to be the man of that house, whoever man she with. I'm not the husband. I mean, not saying she's dealing with all these different men or whatever, but I don't teach him to disrespect the guy, husband, and all of that. But at the same time, I never heard about him putting his hands on my kid. That was only that one time. And I did go to her about this situation. I didn't go screaming at the guy. I just took it up with her. Because I know my son, he's really not that bad like that. Well, you got to actually, he do stuff that make you may whoop him or something like that. But he's not overly bad. And I'm not saying that just because he's my son. So I guess it depends on the person and situation. For real, because some kids can be unruly, that's for sure. All right, fam, we walked through every layer of this situation, from the chain pressing to the baby mama antagonizing to the mob ties commentary to the news framing to the ecosystem reactions. And what you're seeing is the same thing I'm seeing. None of this happens in isolation. These aren't random moments. These are patterns. And that's why somebody like Jay Prince Jr. has to be careful with those patterns, because you keep looking like you this boss and people keep doing all these type of acts like this, and somebody may flip on you from that count, from your account. These aren't random moments. These are patterns built on ego, proximity, money, reputation, and the rooms people choose to stand in. And tonight wasn't about picking sides. It was about blaming, defending, or pointing fingers. It wasn't about any of those things. It was about mapping the mechanics, the energy, the psychology, the escalation, the perception, so you can see the structures behind the chaos. Because once you understand the structure, you stop getting lost in noise. You stop reacting to headlines. You stop letting the internet tell you what to think. You start seeing the architecture for yourself. That's what GPT Originals is about. Not gossip, not clout, not shock value, clarity, structure, pattern recognition, the things that actually matter. If you got value from tonight's breakdown, tap into the ecosystem. Hit the QR code on the screen or the link in the description. Get that QR code up there. So show support towards independence, building worlds and layers and structure. So hit the QR code. Join the Shadow Empire community so you never miss a transmission, a breakdown, or a pattern map. That's also on YouTube. Like the stream, share it with somebody who needs the clarity. Drop a comment so the algorithm knows this type of content deserves to be surfaced. And I want to hit y'all with this. And as always, stay sharp, stay aware, and stay out of the rooms that don't serve your future. I'll see you on the next transmission. A little something from the album. A little something from the album.
I'm moving cold and night. Shadows down when I walk in the light. Howard draped in silk, money talks my name. Every step a claim in a midnight game. Calm echo by my side, reflection sharp and clean with the order that rules the unseen. Over silence on the night, shadows follow. Howard drape, money talks, velvet ring. Ghettos with the secrets whisper in the hall. Eyes on me, I see empires rise and fall. Lips like danger, touch like a storm. Seduction's my weapon, unstoppable and warm. Silk moves, cold calculated, unstoppable. Every glance, every vow, fade down. Whispers in the dark, deals in the air. Everything I want is already there. Every glance, every move, sex appealing command. Carrying presence, we own this land. Command, control, midnight empire. Unseen, untouchable, the order moves. The order moves. Obsidian heels, quick the city bows. Every glance a crown, every sigh a vow. Velvet shadows, neon dreams collide. Chrome echoes, reflection, the force at my side. Force at my side, power double in shadow. Velvet, chrome, unstoppable. Sparks to passion, cinematic strings. Whispers echo on a subtle track. Moving silence, power in silk. Shadows follow. Won't seem untouchable, the order. Dominion, a moving golden eye. That belongs to us, we wear the chain. Midnight, velvet, dominion. Chrome echo, nightfall, sable. We rule shadows.